Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's the girl LaDonna, Ladonna, and as promised, I am back with another video. For today's video, I am going to let you guys in on my life a little bit more by sharing my adoption story with you all. I went on my Instagram and went on my Facebook. I asked if you guys were interested and I got some positive feedback, so I figured, hey, you guys are interested, why not just do it? Also with me today, I have some wine. I'm going to be sipping on some wine during this video. I am 27 years old, so I am of age to consume alcohol. When I thought about making this video, honestly, I was like, story time, like adoption story, anything of that nature can really be boring. And so I figured, you know, like along with me talking, I am going to be drawing. I am not in any way, shape, or form an artist. I cannot draw to save my life. So during this video, you guys will be seeing stick figures. You guys will be seeing things that is not very artistic because I am not artistic. So I am going to stop rambling and get on with it. So I was born, and also I have my board here. So yeah. So I was born in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, SVG for short. I was born to Fitzroy and Betty, and they had my older siblings. Actually, I have an outside brother. So this is my first brother on my dad's side. And then my dad and mom, they have my sister, one of my sisters. Let me put some hair on her, hold on. There we go. Then they had one of my other brothers. Then they had my other sister. I'm gonna put some hair on her as well. Then they had my other brother. And then they had me. I'm gonna put some hair on myself as well. So in total, my dad has 6 children, but between my mom and my dad, they had 5 kids. And as you guys can see, really cool. It goes boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl. Super cool. Oh, let me put some eyes on my brother. There we go. So my mom passed away when I was 2 years old. Oh, I also forgot. I should probably put some hair on my mom up here. I think this one is the one I said is my mom. There we go. So my mom passed away when I was 2 years old. So my mom was no longer in the picture. And then it was just my dad and his kids. My eldest brother at this point was with his mother and that side of his family. So it was really just my dad and the 5 of us. I don't remember much about that part of my life because, like I said, I was only 2 years old when my mom passed away. And I don't remember much about my eldest sibling except my brother before me, Rafit. I didn't remember much about my siblings at that point because they were older. They were kind of already moving on with their life. They were living in another part of the country. So from my recollection, it was only my dad and my brother and myself. So there we go. It was my dad, my brother, and myself. Now my dad was a very hardworking man, so all he did was work, okay? And then it was really up to my brother and myself to be independent at a young age. My dad did his very best to make sure that we were well taken care of, but like I mentioned, all he did was work. Anyway, that's beside the point. But yeah, so a lot of working went on, and I was a young girl, and so, you know, him being a man and him working a lot, I really wasn't getting that female figure, that female guidance in my life per se, until one day. I really don't remember how it happened, honestly, but somehow I think I had gone to like a church or something was happening, something church related. And so I'm just gonna put church here. And then I went to church or some church related event, and I met Mrs. Alexander. So this is her. I met her, and we really formed a bond. And so it kind of like in the Caribbean, we don't really have like a formal adoption process, right? It was just like, you know, like family and friends, you know, you spend some time here, you spend some time there, you spend some time here and there and everywhere. So after meeting Miss Alexander, she really liked me, and she understood, this is me, by the way, this is me. And so she understood that my dad couldn't really take care of me in the way that he wanted to take care of me, and he also accepted the fact that he really couldn't take care of me the way that he wanted to take care of me. So I started spending a lot of time with Miss Alexander and her family. So I ended up spending a great chunk of my childhood with Miss Alexander and her entire family. And so after being with them, you know, here and there, it was decided, I can't remember how the decision was made, but it was decided that I would move in with her and her family permanently. Again, there was nothing legal at this point with this process. It was just, you know, she liked me, she understood that my dad really couldn't give me that female guidance, and she took me in to live with her and her family. I think I was about 6 years old at this point. And so I lived with them for quite some time. I went to school, I went to church. My adopted sisters and I had a very, very good relationship. Like all sisters, you disagree, you fight, you argue. We were sisters, and so we had a mix of everything. But I think that they really loved me, and I really loved them. I accepted them as my family, and they accepted me as their sister. And so we kind of just had a really good bond from the beginning. One thing that I would never forget is when I first started living with them permanently, Miss Alexander, she told me, because I would always call her Miss Alexander, just a respectful thing. I would be like, Miss Alexander, Miss Alexander. And then she was like, you can call me Mom. And that right there was just so sweet of her, first of all. But it was so nice to hear, you know, like I got that okay to call her Mom. And so from that day on, it was Mom for me. So I just, you know, like that was my mother. You know, she was the one who raised me for that portion of my life. So she was Mom. Lived with them for a couple of years. I'm gonna say until maybe I was 10, maybe a little bit younger than that. I really can't recall. And then the saddest thing happened, you guys. And keep in mind that during this whole time, like my siblings and I, we would communicate, but I was still, like, I was really young, so we didn't really communicate as much. But I knew that they were always there for me should I need them, and like they always knew where I was, and all that good stuff. So my biological siblings and myself had a good relationship, despite the fact that we had a good relationship, but it wasn't a very solid relationship at that point, because like I said, again, they were on with their lives. They were grown and they had a life of their own, and that's something that I couldn't be mad at. And so I knew though that if I needed them, they were there for me. And so my brother, the one before me, Rafi, he was still with my dad at this point. And you know, like we saw each other often and all that good stuff. And so the saddest thing happened. Miss Alexander and her family, I'm gonna give her some here, and her family, they had to move. So they moved from St. Vincent to Turks and Caicos, aka TCI. So they moved, and because I wasn't legally adopted, and because they just like they were their own family, you know what I mean? Like they were their own family. Like I was a part of their family, yeah, but like they were their own immediate family. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. So they had to make sure that they were good first. Like, they had to make sure that their kids was good first. And you know, I was an extra body for them, not disrespectfully. Like, I don't want this to sound disrespectful, but I hope you guys are kind of grasping what I'm saying. Like, they had their own immediate family. They had to make sure that their kids were taken care of. And I still had my dad. I still had my brother. So when they decided to move, I wasn't able to move with them at that point because, like I said, they were moving to a new country with nothing, with not really a solid plan. They didn't know if they were going to stay, how long they were going to stay for. And so when they moved to Turks and Caicos, I had to move back in with my dad. And why did I give my dad hair? Actually, he's pretty bald. He does not have no hair. So let me erase that. So I had to move back in with my dad and my brother. And so I was back with them full-time, back with them permanently, and then I started just going on with my life. We were still in communication with Miss Alexander and her family, and I really did miss them a lot because like I said, I was living with them for quite some time. And so when they decided to make that move, I was really sad. But I was also super happy to be back with my dad and be back with my brother. Like, that was a really good, it was a bittersweet moment. So after that move, something happened. And if you want to know what happened, you gotta stay tuned to my next video. Yes, I'm lifting you guys. Bro, go watch my last video where I said English. I speak English well. Every time I'm trying to make a video, the English language and like we don't get along. I don't know what it is. Anyway, like I was trying to say, I am going to leave you guys here. So just keep in mind, remember where we ended off. My Miss Alexander and her family, they moved to Turks and Caicos, and I was back full-time with my dad and my brother. And if you guys want to know what happened next, because keep in mind, in my last video, my first video, I told you guys, I born in St. Vincent, lived in Turks and Caicos, and now I am in Canada. So if you want to know how that whole thing happened, you gotta stay tuned for part 2 of my adoption story. And the reason why I'm making a part 2 is because I really don't want this video to be too lengthy, like I said earlier, or did I say that? I can't recall. But I don't want it to be too lengthy. So I'm gonna leave it right here. Let me know if you guys want me to drop part 2 ASAP, or if you guys can wait a couple days, because I'm ready to do it. I am ready to do it. I just want to put out content that people are actually interested in. So if you guys want to hear the rest of this story, let me know in the comments, like this video, subscribe. That way I can know you guys are actually interested in hearing the rest of this story, and I will definitely drop that video for you guys. In the meantime, between time, I'm going to leave you guys here. I'm going to sip some wine. It's not a wine glass. Don't come for me. I did not send for you. But anyway, until next time, thank you guys so much for watching my video. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.